Okay, what we're looking at is your typical stern drive or inboard starter, and maybe you're replacing these quite often and you're wondering, what is going on? Why are these things going out on me? And the biggest reason is your water's getting in them. And there's two ways water damages these. Either you can actually have a hatch leak from up above the hinge area where the engine compartment is. If it doesn't have a good drain lip, it can run down the back of the motor and travel around and actually run into the starter from the top. But a more common scenario is it's high bilge water. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, the water never got that high. It can't be. And maybe your mechanic is showing you an example of your starter like this, and maybe it's less than a year old, and you're like, I just don't understand it. How are they going out? I'm going to give you a little illustration here. This is your starter, the way it sits in the boat basically. And let's have this be a reference of bilge water in your boat. So it's the level of bilge water is well below the starter. You know for a fact it hasn't touched it. Usually you'll see a little water line on it if it does get that high. And you're like, how's it? Is it splashing up there? What's going on? Well, here's what a lot of people don't think about, and this is what kills them. This is to represent your flywheel, the way it engages your starter. And what happens is, you can see if the water is high enough, the flywheel is actually, even though it's in an enclosed housing, the water still gets in there because it is vented and has a drain on it. The water level will get into the flywheel housing, and as the engine turns, the flywheel acts like a pump, and it lifts the water from here and just pumps it right into the starter. Goes in there, works its way through, and then just takes out the electric motor. And one of the first tests they do, if you ever return a starter under warranty, one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to pull out one of these bolts, usually the lower bolt. And if you pull that lower bolt out and there's rust on it, you know it got water in there. So keep your bilge pump in good working order. If the boat's on a trailer, keep the drain plug out at all times. Make sure it's clear so water doesn't accumulate and creep up there. And you may have to relocate your bilge pump. Get it to make sure it's in the lowest point possible to make sure that bilge is dry. Anyway, that's what does it. Hope this was informative to you, something to watch out for. And again, please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.